Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. You're listening to the RX Daily Dose. Today's episode is being recorded for Monday, January 10th, and I'm your host, Ian Parnagoni. We update this podcast for healthcare providers, medical professionals, and anyone who has an interest in drug updates. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media, including iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. All links can be found in the show notes below. So in today's episode, we have two updates, both related to COVID, which include an EUA for Pfizer's Paxlovid for treatment of COVID-19, and updates from the FDA to improve vaccine access in the US population. As always, feel free to skip around. I'm going to include times in the show notes so you get the updates that interest you. Last week we talked about molnupiravir. I also wanted to give you information about Pfizer's Paxlovid. The FDA issued an EUA for Pfizer's Paxlovid, which is a combination of nirmatrelvir tablets and ritonavir tablets, co-packaged for oral use for the treatment of mild to moderate coronavirus disease in adults and pediatric patients 12 years of age and older, weighing at least 40 kilograms, with positive results of direct SARS-CoV-2 testing, and who are at high risk for progression to severe COVID-19, including hospitalization or death. Paxlovid is available by prescription only and should be initiated as soon as possible after diagnosis of COVID-19 and within 5 days of symptom onset. Paxlovid is not authorized for the pre-exposure or post-exposure prevention of COVID-19 or for initiation of treatment in those requiring hospitalization due to severe or critical COVID-19. Paxlovid is not a substitute for vaccination in individuals for whom COVID-19 vaccination and a booster dose are recommended. The FDA has approved one vaccine and authorized others to prevent COVID-19 and serious clinical outcomes associated with a COVID-19 infection, including hospitalization and death. The FDA urges the public to get vaccinated and receive a booster if eligible. Paxlovid consists of nirmatrelvir, which inhibits a SARS-CoV-2 protein to stop the virus from replicating, and ritonavir, which slows down nirmatrelvir's breakdown to help it maintain in the body for a longer period of time at higher concentrations. Paxlovid is administered as 3 tablets, that's going to be 2 tablets of nirmatrelvir and 1 tablet of ritonavir, taken together orally twice daily for 5 days for a total of 30 tablets. Paxlovid is not authorized for use for longer than 5 consecutive days. The primary data supporting this EUA for Paxlovid are from EPIC-HR, a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled clinical trial studying Paxlovid for the treatment of non-hospitalized symptomatic adults with a lab-confirmed diagnosis of SARS-CoV-2 infection. Patients were adults 18 years of age and older with a pre-specified risk factor for progression to severe disease, or were 60 years and older regardless of pre-specified chronic medical conditions. All patients had not received a COVID-19 vaccine and had not been previously infected with COVID-19. The main outcome measure in the trial was the proportion of people who were hospitalized due to COVID-19 or died due to any cause during 28 days of follow-up. Paxlovid significantly reduced the proportion of people with COVID-19 related hospitalization or death from any cause by 88% compared to placebo among patients treated with 5 days of symptom onset and who did not receive COVID-19 therapeutic monoclonal antibody treatment. In this analysis, 1,039 patients had received Paxlovid and 1,046 patients had received placebo, and among those patients, 0.8% who received Paxlovid were hospitalized or died during 28 days of follow-up, compared to 6% of the patients who received placebo. The safety and effectiveness of Paxlovid for the treatment of COVID-19 continue to be evaluated. Possible side effects of Paxlovid include impaired sense of taste, diarrhea, high blood pressure, and muscle aches. Using Paxlovid at the same time as certain other drugs may result in potentially significant drug interactions. Using Paxlovid in people with uncontrolled or undiagnosed HIV-1 infection may lead to HIV-1 drug resistance. Ritonavir may cause liver damage, so caution should be exercised when giving Paxlovid to patients with pre-existing liver diseases, liver enzyme abnormalities, or liver inflammation. Because Paxlovid works in part by inhibiting certain enzyme pathways, including CYP3A, Paxlovid is contraindicated with certain drugs, such as simvastatin, lovastatin, or amiodarone, that are highly dependent on those enzymes for metabolism and for which elevated concentrations of certain drugs are associated with serious or life-threatening reactions. Paxlovid is also contraindicated with drugs that, conversely, strongly induce those same enzymes, such as carbamazepine, phenobarbital, and phenytoin, leading to the faster breakdown of nirmatrelvir or ritonavir, as reduced concentrations of nirmatrelvir or ritonavir may be associated with potentially losing virologic response and developing viral resistance. Paxlovid cannot be started immediately after discontinuing such medications because the effect of those medications remain after discontinuation. For a complete list of drugs that should not be taken in combination with Paxlovid, see the fact sheet for healthcare providers that's associated with the EUA. The link will be in the notes section of the podcast. In other COVID-19 news, the FDA this week took multiple different actions to increase the availability of the Pfizer vaccine. The FDA made 3 major updates to the EUA, and I'll break down each one of them. First, the FDA expanded the use of a single booster dose to include use in individuals 12 through 15 years of age. Second, the FDA shortened the time between the completion of primary vaccination of the Pfizer vaccine and a booster dose to at least 5 months. And finally, the FDA will now allow for a third primary series dose for certain immunocompromised children 5 through 11 years of age. Going through all 3 now. First, boosters are now authorized for people 12 years of age and older. The agency has determined that the protective health benefits of a single booster dose of the Pfizer vaccine to provide continued protection against COVID-19 and the associated serious consequences that can occur, including hospitalization and death, outweigh the potential risks of individuals 12 through 15 years of age. The FDA reviewed real-world data from Israel, including safety data from more than 6,300 individuals 12 through 15 years of age who received a booster dose of the vaccine at least 5 months following completion of their primary 2-dose vaccination series. These additional data enabled the FDA to reassess the benefits and risks of the use of the booster in the younger adolescent population in the setting of the current surge in COVID-19 cases. The data shows there are no new safety concerns following booster in this population. There were no new cases of myocarditis or pericarditis reported to date in these individuals. Next, the FDA shortened the booster interval to 5 months for people 12 years of age and older. Pfizer initially submitted safety and effectiveness data to a single booster dose following primary vaccination. Additional data have become available in the increasing number of cases of COVID-19 with the Omicron variant in the US. No new safety concerns have emerged from a population of over 4.1 million individuals 16 years of age and older in Israel who received a booster dose at least 5 months following completion of the primary vaccination series. Additionally, peer-reviewed data from multiple labs include that a booster dose of Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine greatly improves an individual's antibody response to be able to counter the Omicron variant. Authorizing booster vaccination to take place at 5 months rather than 6 months may therefore provide better protection sooner for individuals against the highly transmissible Omicron variant. And finally, with this update, the FDA will now allow for a third primary series dose for certain immunocompromised children ages 5 through 12. This includes children who have undergone solid organ transplantation or who have been diagnosed with conditions that are considered to have an equivalent level of immunocompromise and may not respond adequately to the 2-dose primary vaccination series. Thus, a third primary series dose has now been authorized for this group. This will now allow these children to receive the maximum potential benefit from vaccination. The agency used analysis conducted as part of the authorization process for healthy children to inform safety in this population and determine that the potential benefits of the administration of a third primary series dose at least 28 days following the second dose of a 2-dose regimen outweighed the potential and known risk for vaccine. To date, the FDA and CDC have seen no new safety signals in this age group. The fact sheets for recipients and caregivers and for healthcare providers contain information about the potential side effects, as well as the risks of myocarditis and pericarditis. The FDA and the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention have several systems in place to continually monitor COVID-19 vaccine safety and allow for the rapid detection and investigation of potential safety concerns. And that's all I have for right now. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll include all links in the show notes below, so please go back and check those out too. Please connect with me on any of your social media platforms and give me feedback on what you heard today. I'd love to know what you thought about the episode. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.